Hey, what's good everyone? It's me Sharon, and today's video we're gonna get into the beginner's guide to the Fate series. So you've always seen the cool fight scenes and cool clips, and you finally want to sit down and start the Fate series. Well, you've come to the right place, because in this video we'll talk about how to start the Fate series, the correct anime watch order, and why we watch it how we do watch it. So if we're all ready, let's jump right into the video. So before we start on with the watch order, it's important to know some background information about the Fate series and where everything started and how it got so huge. So the Fate series has a lot of different media variations besides just anime adaptations. It has visual novels, light novels, games, and much more that's all within the same Fate universe. So the Fate series focuses around a concept called the Holy Grail War. The Holy Grail War is where 7 mages are chosen to fight in the war, where they each summon their own heroic spirit or servant to fight in the war with them. The winner of the war wins the Holy Grail, and the servant and master duo can each make one wish with the Holy Grail. Now let's talk about the origins of Fate. Fate first originated as the Fatestaynight visual novel. Now, what is a visual novel, you may ask? A visual novel is sort of like a game where where you play as the main characters. In this instance, you play as Shiro Emiya. Now, the choices you make as Shiro Emiya matters for some endings and some dialogue changes in the route you play. Now, you may be asking, what is a route? A route is sort of like a different timeline in visual novels. Visual novels play out different scenarios of the same story. So for Fate, it has 3 routes. The Fate route, which is the Saber route, the Unlimited Bladeworks route, which is the Rin route, and the Heaven's Feel route, which is the Sakura route. Now we'll talk more about why the origins of Fate matter in watching the Fate series, but this is just the gist of what a visual novel is for now. Also, just a quick disclaimer before we get into the watch order is that the best way to start Fate is by reading the visual novel, the original Stay Night visual novel, then proceeding on to Fate Hollow Ataraxia, which is a sequel to Fatestaynight, then finally Fate Zero, which is the prequel to Fatestaynight and Hollow Ataraxia. That is by far the best way to get into Fate, and the original way Fate was intended to be consumed. Now, because we don't have a good adaptation for the Saber route, we start off with the next best thing, which is Fatestaynight Unlimited Bladeworks. Now, you may be wondering why not just start with the Fatestaynight from 2006 by Studio Dean. The reason is that Fatestaynight 2006 doesn't hold up as well compared to the newer adaptations of the Fatestaynight routes. The animation isn't the greatest, and also Fatestaynight 2006 merges some different aspects from the other routes, such as UBW, into the Fate route, which makes a whole other mess of things. But if you can really get through all of those things, I would recommend to start off with Fatestaynight 2006 if you really wanted to, but if not, it's totally fine. Start with UBW, it is, in my opinion, the better start. So, the UBW anime is a pretty decent explanation of the core concepts of what Fate is. Pretty decent explanation of what the Holy Grail War is, what servants are, what Magecraft is, what masters are, and just gives you a pretty good feel of what Fate is. And now that we've finished UBW, we then now move on to the third and final route, which is Fatestaynight Heaven's Feel. Now, instead of it being animated into 24 episodes just like UBW was, Fatestaynight Heaven's Feel was animated into a trilogy of 3 movies. This becomes problematic because Heaven's Feel, especially in the visual novel, compared to UBW, had a lot more content within it, and because of that, Heaven's Feel seemed a little bit lackluster and rushed compared to the visual novel. So just keep that in mind while watching Heaven's Feel, is that it's not fully, it didn't animate all the content within it, so it does seem a little bit rushed or not as good as UW was, for example. So now that we've finished watching the adaptations that we have for Fatestaynight, it's time to travel 10 years into the past and we can finally watch the story of Fate Zero. Fate Zero tells us a story about the Fourth Holy Grail War, and it focuses around our main character, which is Kiritsugu Emiya, Shiro Emiya's father. Fate Zero also shines some light about some topics from Fatestaynight that weren't fully explored or fully explained. Fate Zero also shows us how the choices that Kiritsugu Emiya makes and the events from the Fourth Holy Grail War drastically affect the events of Fatestaynight. Also, a very quick reminder, Fate Zero is a prequel. It is meant to be watched last. Not before Fatestaynight, but after Fatestaynight. Last. To give you a quick comparison, it's like watching the prequel trilogy of Star Wars before the original trilogy. You're supposed to watch the original trilogy before the prequel trilogy. That's the same way for the Fate series. Fatestaynight, then the prequel, Fate Zero. And there you have it. You're finally done the mainline anime adaptations for the Fate series. And you may be wondering, wow, I thought there was a lot more to the Fate series. Well, there is. There's a lot of different spin-offs and sister series that you can also get into if you want more from Fate or the author Kiniko Nasu. Some spin-offs I do highly recommend from the Fate series. I would definitely check out Fate Apocrypha. Fate Apocrypha tells a story about the greater Holy Grail War. I would also check out Fate Strange Fake. Fate Strange Fake just received an anime special, and it also was announced that it would also be receiving an anime adaptation as well. If you are very impatient, I would just check out the light novel. Very well done. Highly recommend checking out. Another series I highly recommend checking out if you want to get even deeper into the lore of the Fate series is Fate Grand Order. Fate Grand Order first started off as a mobile gacha game, and it also received a few anime adaptations telling the popular chapters of Fate Grand Order. Definitely check out Fate Grand Order and play the game before you watch the anime adaptations, please. It's really good. Check it out. It may leave you with a slight gambling addiction, but that's fine. Anything's fine for your favorite PNG waifus. Some sister series I recommend by the same author, Kiniko Nasu. Definitely check out Tsukihime. Also check out Garden of Sinners and Witch of the Holy Night. 3 great series and are really good. And if you want more Fate or stuff like Fate, check these 3 series out for sure. And there you have it. You have now finally finished the main line for the Fate series. I hope this guide helped out for newcomers into the Fate series and explained and answered some questions you guys had. Definitely, if you want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, like the video, share, comment, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Take it easy.